I am joined now by the GOP's national spokeswoman, Madison Gilbert. Thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Of course. Good to be with you.
Of course. So I guess I kind of just want to start out. We're here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, perhaps a little bit different from the other GOP debates that have taken place. The first one being in Milwaukee, then California, then Miami. Tuscaloosa is obviously a bit more of kind of out of the way, a lot more kind of a rural area, so to speak. How was the decision reached to ultimately hold a debate, not just in Tuscaloosa, but on the campus of the University of Alabama?
So our debate committee makes the decisions on where the debates are going to be held. As you can see, we've been all over the country in all different types of areas. We're targeting voters of all ages and every single part of the nation because we recognize how important it is to win next year, and we want to win big, especially in states like Alabama.
And so perhaps let's talk a little bit about what could actually happen on the debate stage. Of course, Chris Christie made the debate stage a little bit late yesterday. And then, of course, there's the three candidates, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, and Ron DeSantis, who will be on that stage. But obviously kind of the elephant in the room, something that will be hanging over the debate, is the fact that former President Trump will not be participating. He didn't participate in the other three debates either. From your perspective, what is there to gain for the other candidates and for the RNC in hosting a debate when the front runner is not participating?
Well, I think the same thing that I've been talking about since the first debate until now. This is our opportunity as a party to share that Republican vision for our nation with voters all over the country. So many people that are tuning in are not necessarily Republican primary voters. These are people who are unhappy with the way things are going. Some of them voted for Biden in 2020. Some of them maybe didn't vote at all. And they're looking forward to next November and saying, what could be different than what it is now? We're not happy with the way things have gone for 2.5, 3 years, and they're looking for a change. So they may not even be the people that are voting for any of these candidates in the primary, but they're people who are looking for an alternative in November of 2024 when they ultimately go and vote. And so that's why I'm most excited about tuning in to this debate as well as the prior three, because I think those are the people who will be able to plant seeds for that Republican vision for America, which is a prosperous American future, in stark contrast, like I said, to what the Biden administration has not offered to people the past 3 years.
And I imagine the benefit of this debate compared to some of the other ones is the number of candidates is significantly smaller. A lot of the campaign teams pointing out that they hope that leads to a more kind of substantive conversation with a lot more policy being able to be discussed on the debate stage, giving more time to each of the candidates. When it comes down to some of the issues that you're expecting perhaps to make it on the debate stage tonight and how those candidates will kind of go back and forth, what are you expecting for potentially the future president on that stage?
Well, I think just naturally you're going to have every candidate get more time to talk, which is always wonderful, and you're going to have more substantive discussion as a result of that. When it comes to what issues, not privy to the questions, but I'm sure you're going to have a lot of economic comments made, a lot of talk about economic policy, about what's going on with Bidenomics failing people so badly. You're going to see foreign policy discussed, especially with what's gone on in the Middle East the past 2 months. I think you'll see a whole host of issues discussed, crime being something that may come up and a priority to many people out there as we see crime rising in many cities, especially look at Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, horrible crime numbers there, and New York City and other places as well.
And just lastly here, before we conclude, obviously many people pointing out that this could be the last debate, not just before the holidays, but the last debate for this primary cycle in general before we actually head into the first primaries. What should not just the candidates, but also the Republican Party as a whole be thinking about to attract some of those voters who voted for President Biden last time around?
Again, I think it's all about the policies. It's all about telling people what we can offer them that the Democrats simply have not. So it's about talking about how your life will be better, how your life will be different with Republican leadership. And I think it's beyond just winning the presidential next November. We want to make sure that we take back the Senate and we expand the majority in the House. By having control of all three, we'll be able to govern in a way in which we can take steps towards fixing what the Biden administration has ruined the past 3 years.
All right, we'll leave our conversation there. Madison Gilbert, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.